Hello, welcome back to the channel, Bright Road to Success, where we make learning easy. So I've been getting a lot of questions about adding using the number line. So that's what we're going to work on today. So first, let me explain what we have up here. We're going to use some strategies in order to make sure that we know how and that we actually add correctly on the number line. We're going to use something called cubes. We're going to use friendly numbers, and then we're going to use a check. So let's start with cubes. All of these letters stand for something in particular. For example, the letter C stands for circle the important numbers. Those numbers could just be, numbers that have one place value, two place values, three place values, so on and so forth. It could be times, like on a clock. It could be how much something weighs. But as long as it has a number in it, we consider that an important number. So let's start with that. And as you can see here, well, let's go ahead and read the word problem. It says Craig's school had 214 students in third grade. Also, the school had 50 fourth graders. How many third and fourth graders were there altogether? So at first, we have to circle the important numbers. So that's where I will start. I'm going to circle 214. And I'm going to circle 50. Now right here, this says third grade and fourth grade. No need to really circle those, however, since it's talking about a particular grade. So we've circled the important number, so I'm going to scratch through the C. Next, we're going to underline the question and try to make sure that we're understanding what the question means. It says, how many third and fourth graders were there altogether? Well, since it says altogether, we know that that is a word that is a clue that the problem wants us to add. Okay, so let's go ahead and scratch the U. Now we're going to B. The letter B stands for box, the action word. So let's see if we have any action words here. It says Craig School had 214 students in third grade. Also, the school had 50 fourth graders. How many third graders were there altogether? So I don't particularly see any action words that tells us to do something. So I'm going to go ahead and line through that. The E just simply stands for to evaluate the question, to make sure that we know exactly what we should do. And as we mentioned, because it has that word all together, we know that this is an addition problem. And then next, the S stands for actually to solve the problem. So let's go ahead and start doing that, or continue to do that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our friendly numbers so that we can add on the number line. So let's go ahead and we're going to draw a number line here. Okay, and since we know that Craig had 214 students, we're going to go ahead and put 214 at the beginning of our number line. Now, we don't know how many third and fourth graders there are altogether, so I'm simply going to right here put a question mark because that's really what I am trying to figure out. Now, another piece of information that I do know is that the school also had 50 fourth graders. So now, since I want to know how many students were in both of those grades altogether, I can take 214 and add 50 to it and figure out what my answer is. So the way that we're going to do that is to increase the numbers on the number line by first getting our friendly numbers. Friendly numbers are numbers that end, and I'm going to put this down here, that end in the number 5 and the number 0. If you've watched any other videos, you will see that we get the friendly numbers in the same way. We either add to get a friendly number or we subtract to get a friendly number because it's just easier to count by 5s or 10s. So here we're going to start with 214. Now, in order to get a friendly number or a number that ends with the 0 or the 5, we can simply increase, and we're increasing because we're adding, because it says all together. We can go ahead and increase by 1. So I'm going to put plus 1. And if I add 1, my new amount or value is going to be 215. So there you have it. We have a friendly number. So now I'm going to keep on adding until I've added 50, and then I will have my new total. So I'm at 215 and I've added 1. So an easy way to add on this number line is to add by fives or to add by tens. So I'm going to go ahead and add by tens. Now, of course, if you're really good at addition, you can add by 20s, you can add by 30s and 40s. It just depends on how well you add. So we're sort of at the beginner level. So we're just going to go ahead and actually let's add by 5. So if I'm at 215 and if I were to add 5 more, I'll put a plus 5 here. My new amount would be 220. The reason I know that is because I can count by fives. I can say 5, 10, 15, 20. And so since this was 215, we're now up to 220. Again, the purpose is to try to get 50 up here that we're adding on so we can figure out what our total would be. So let's go ahead and add 5 more. So if I add 5 more, I am now at 225. So I'll go ahead and put 225 here. Now I'm going to add 5 more. And now I'm at 230. So I've added 5, 10, and 15. So now I'm going to sort of switch gears, as they say, and I'm going to add by tens because I seem to be running out of room on my number line. Plus, I think we can all handle that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to now add 10. I'll put the box up here and I'll say plus 10. So now if I'm at 230, my new number is going to be 240. So let's count to see how much we've added so far, because again, we want to add 50 onto 214. So far I've added 10, 15, 20, 25, and 26. So let's go ahead and this time, let's add 20, because if I add 20, that'll be 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, and 46. So let's go ahead and we're going to draw the line here and we're going to add 20. Okay, so let's see what our new number or new value would be. If we're at 240 and we add 20 onto that, that would be 240, 250, 260. So I'll go ahead and put 260 there. Okay, and I'm going to just go ahead and try to erase this question mark right here. All right, so I'll put the 260 back up here, and let's just go ahead again to see how much we've added so far. We've added 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, and 46. Remember, we're trying to add 50, so if we're at 46, how much would we have to add to get to 50? Well, let's think about it. If we're at 246, let's just count up. 247, 248, 249, 250. That's 4 more. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say plus 4. And now if I'm at 260 and I add 4 more, that's going to put us at 264. So again, let's go ahead and make sure that we've started with the biggest number here, which is 214, which is how many third graders they had. And then they added 50. So let's make sure that we've added 50 here. 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50. Very good. And then we've jumped from 214 or increased from 214 to 215. And then we added 5 onto that because, of course, we had to get our friendly number here. So when we added 5 more, it was at 220. Then 5 more is 225. 5 more is 230. And then we added 10 so we could get practice with that. So we're at 240. And then we added 20 more, which made it come to 260. And so at that point, we only needed to add 4 more, again, because we were trying to come up with 50. And so let me just go ahead and circle all of these, which shows us that this amount up here is the actual 50 that we were trying to get to. And so we know now that if you have 214 and you add 50, it equals 264. So we can go ahead and check off friendly numbers, and we're still at the solving stage, or at least we were. So I think that we've solved this problem. So now we're going to line through the S, and we're going to check off the cubes the strategy that we use to add on the number line. And now we're going to check it. Well, if you remember, hopefully in other videos that you've watched, subtraction is the opposite of addition, right? And so since we've added here, now we can subtract. So if we think about how we would write this problem in standard format, this is how we would do it. We would say 214 plus 50. Let's get another little text box and put a plus symbol here. And then we'll underline it here. 214, we're saying, is 264. So since I said to you that subtraction is the opposite of addition, let's subtract to see if we can figure out if our numbers are correct. So when you subtract, you always start with the greatest number, which is 264. So this time I'm going to start with 264, which is this number here, and then I'm going to subtract 50. Okay, and let me grab a text box and put a subtraction symbol there. And of course, we're going to draw our line here. And now if we go ahead and if we subtract, let me go through this. If we subtract 264, or if we have 264 and we subtract 50, and I'm going to draw this line to make it clearer to see. We have 264 and then we subtract 50. We should come up with 214. And if we do, we've done it correctly. So let's go ahead and do that. 4 minus 0 is 4. 6 minus 5 is 1. And hold up 1 second. I don't want to confuse you. Let me make sure I move this 5 over. Okay, because that 5 is in the tens place. So it's 4 plus 0 is 4. 1 plus 5 is 6. And then, of course, we just bring the 2 down. So here we go. We have 4 minus 0 is 4. 6 minus 5 is 1. And now the 2, we just simply can go ahead and bring down. And ding, ding, ding. That is our answer. Woohoo! So that means that we did our check. We can go back up here and we can go ahead and check off the word check. So there you have it. That is how you do addition using the number line. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and click the bell for future lessons and the like button. And if you have any questions, put them in the comment section. Was this easy for you? If it wasn't, tell me why it wasn't, and I will respond. Or tell me what other types of lessons you would like to see. Okay, so until next time,